Hey, it's me, Tammy B, and this is my review for Hollywood Divas Season 2 Reunion Part 2. All right, you guys, so we pretty much start right where we left off. The drama still continues. Everyone's still on stage, including Forrest and Sean. So it was just a lot of back and forth. Forrest expressed why he kind of acted a little bit crazy and grabbed the ketchup bottle, and he said it was kind of just his natural instinct because, when he walked up, they were talking, and then Sean kept standing up and getting loud. And I will have to admit, when some people get loud with you, you do kind of want to defend yourself, but when he said it was my natural instinct to defend myself, I could understand that. But I'm like, with the ketchup bottle, like, what would you naturally do with that, So that was kind of interesting. So then there was a lot of drama between Lisa and Paula. Lisa just expressed that she was really hurt by the fact that Paula said that she was lying. I don't remember the exact item that Paula said that she was lying about, but Lisa got kind of emotional, you guys, and when she started to tear up, she was like, if I shed a tear, I'm going to whoop your ass. And that's kind of funny, because I thought about it, I was like, I guess, she's not that big of a crier. So I understand what she was trying to say, that, hey, if I shed a tear, it's going to be worth something, So she ended up walking off stage, you guys, and Carlos kind of called her back. Sean went with Lisa when she walked off stage to kind of calm her down, and even Countess was crying because she was kind of tearing up, and it was kind of sad. So Countess was like, dang, you about to make me cry. Like, we became friends and you're a good person. So to see you hurt is making me hurt. But Carlos King kind of went backstage and kind of calmed both of them down. And it was kind of funny because Lisa was like, now I'm going to go on stage looking like a raccoon. And Countess, since she was crying too, she was like, well, we're going to be two raccoons. So I thought that was cute and funny, you guys. So Lisa and Paula ended up hugging it out. So hopefully it's over. They both seemed hurt by what the other one said about each other, but at the end of the day, hopefully they can separate what was actually reality and what was real. One thing that was interesting about this show is that they ended up turning the tables on Carlos King and asking him questions. So although the whole reunion and of course the whole season, he's been kind of guiding things in the reunion, asking the ladies questions, they actually asked him questions, and then they actually showed some behind the scene footage of what goes on. So that was actually pretty interesting. Well, maybe not, because even though I know it's reality TV and it's contrived somewhat, I was actually surprised to see how contrived it was. That scene out of Countess's selfie party, I guess they kind of got off track, so he kind of yelled cut and kind of went in and was like, hey, don't talk about this, don't talk about that, only talk about you five. I was like, oh, like it's constructed like that. So that was pretty interesting. And they showed a few more behind the scenes clips. As far as the questions, Countess asked him, have he ever been with a woman? And he kind of said pretty much no. Like, he played around a little bit, but never all the way. So I guess people wanted to know that. Lisa asked him, I don't remember what Lisa asked him, actually, her exact question, but some of the things that Carlos touched on was, the reason why he likes doing reality TV shows is because he was raised by a single black woman who didn't seem to have a voice. So he wanted to show black women who did have a voice, strong women, whether it was their ups or downs, and just show every aspect of being a black woman in Hollywood or even just a regular housewife. So he said that's why he does what he does. So that was pretty good. I saw Paula's mom in the audience kind of clapping for that. And he made a comment about, it seems like when he tries to bring the drama, he's accused of tearing black women down. But then when he tries to get people to hug, it's like, oh, don't force fake hugs. Because I know he asked Lisa and Paula to hug, and they did. He asked Forrest and Sean to hug. They did not. And then he asked Golden and Elise to hug, and they did. So Elise and Golden was basically saying, their friendship is not at the best right now, but hopefully it can work out. Golden said she heard a lot of things that Elise was saying. Number one, the side deal thing too. And apparently Elise said something smart about her pillow line. So, and then whatever Elise said on the cruise kind of just took her over or whatever. And one thing I can appreciate about Elise, she was like, look, you saying all this stuff hurt you, but you never told me. It was like, once I said the little thing about, I don't want to have a baby out of wedlock, you just went way left. So I didn't understand why you was going way left, but now I kind of know that you saying this all this little stuff that kind of added to that. So that made more sense, because to Elise it didn't make sense why Golden was going way left on the baby comment. So that was that. They said asked if there was any hope for the White sisters, and it was kind of like, one scene they said it was dead to the bed basically, but then on another scene they were saying that Paula was like, I still have hope for it. And even Carlos King said, he has hope for the show, and hopefully on season 3 that, they do get to start doing that, or some project. So we'll see. And everybody kind of agreed they're willing to do a project all together, but they just want the paperwork done right up front, you guys. So that was pretty much it. The audience asked a few questions. Someone asked Golden if she really waited the 6 months and with the new guy, and she said yes. But he also asked if she had waited the 6 months with her baby daddy, but she decided not to answer. But I think we know the answer to that question. So that was that. They kind of asked all the ladies what they were working on. Lisa and Sean are kind of doing some animations, and she said she's doing a horror story, and she said she was on Born Again version. I think I'm going to check that out, not for necessarily for her only, but I've actually heard some good reviews about it, so I'm interested in seeing that, you guys. And Paula's in 4 projects. Elise is kind of shipping around a project. Countess is singing. Golden and her pillow line and candle line. So everybody, and she also is on a couple shows herself. So everybody kind of pumped what they were doing. And Carlos just said, despite all, I think everybody should just be proud of who they are and what they are. He had a lot of questions on his card written about Forrest and what he said at the brunch, but at that point, after all the fights, they were just like, we're not going to get into all that. Let's just kind of support one another and focus on some positivity. But I did kind of want to hear some of the audience response or questions to, what Forrest had to say. Because, I know what other reviewers say and some, blogs and stuff. But I did kind of want to hear that. So when he threw that card, I was like, no, Ho didn't finish the Kumbaya moment, then come back. But whatever, so they didn't get to that, you guys. So that was pretty much it. They kept mentioning season 3, so I think there's gonna be a season 3. So hopefully all of the ladies are back. I don't know if they can afford or have time to squeeze in another lady, but I actually would like to keep the ball rolling. I understand we're kind of used to new characters on these reality shows, but I like this group of ladies, so I'm actually hoping it'll just be them. Maybe add Shar a little bit, or I don't know, maybe it could be another actress that we really like, but I kind of like this group, so we'll see, you guys. So that was pretty much it, you guys. That was Hollywood Divas. I can't think of any major thing that I may have missed. I just watched it and I didn't want to forget anything, so that's why I was like, okay, let me do my review right now. So you guys get a little glimpse of my bedroom. I don't let people into my home or my bedroom. So you guys should feel lucky and happy. Nah, I'm just kidding, you guys. So you know what's up. Give me the thumbs up on this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and hit me up on Twitter at TamiB_. That's TAMI, the letter B, and the symbol _, you guys. So let me know what you guys think about Hollywood Divas. Is there anybody you don't want to see there? Is there any divas that you can think of that should be on the show? You know who I would like to see? Tamala Jones. I think she would be a good one. I would have said Taraji before Empire came out, but I think Tamala Jones would be a good person to be on there. She was, was she in Booty Call? She was on the show For Your Love. But I like her. And Regina Hall, actually, I think she did a cameo the first season, so maybe she can come around again. So that'll be interesting, you guys. Another funny thing that happened was Forrest pointed out, like, oh, all y'all was clowning my little Eddie Kane from the 5 Heartbeat suit, but come to find out Carlos King got on the same suit. So that was kind of funny. He did have on a blue suit. His did look a little bit more spiffy, if I do say so myself. Didn't look as 5 Heartbeatish as Forrest's for whatever reason. But I was glad they was able to laugh that all out. And even when they showed some behind the scenes, that whole ketchup bottle fight scene, I guess outside of that, Forrest kept going on, and Rashawn kept going on, and Carlos King had to even come in that scene and was like, hey, I need you to calm down. He even held Forrest back, So Carlos King played a really prominent executive producer role. I know that probably kind of sounds like oxymoron-ish, like, isn't that what they're supposed to do? But like I said, maybe this is just because it's my first time really seeing some behind the scenes reality show with the producer actually like talking to the ladies, which is why I was kind of shocked at how hands-on he was. But maybe it's like that all the time. But that was definitely an interesting bit for me, and it helps me kind of look at some behind the scene things a little bit differently, So that was pretty interesting. And I remember Paula making a comment to Carlos like, oh, you didn't invite me to that on purpose. Like, you wanted, I don't know, she was like, you wanted gold. And I don't know what they meant by that. Maybe because they know without Paula, Forrest probably goes way left. So Paula was trying to imply like, oh, Carlos King purposely didn't invite her to that whole dinner where Rashawn and what's the husband name again, y'all? Forrest, got into a fight. So I was like,